Okay. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome. I am Ashley. I am a character and creature concept artist and sculptor and modeler and all of the things that you would do with ZBrush. So usually when I'm on this channel, I am sculpting from a sphere. We usually take this and we mash it into a whole bunch of different shapes and random shapes, abstract shapes, and we kind of create something from that, kind of like cloud watching. It's a lot of fun. It's 4-hour sessions, so if you're watching out of, when it's a VOD, you can just skip through. If you have questions while you're live, feel free to drop them. Definitely give this channel a follow, which you're watching on, Max on, so that you can catch everybody else who's a ZBrush live streamer live when they go live. And if you want more of me, you can always grab any of my socials right here, acubed.art/links, where I have, all my socials, and I also have a Twitch stream that I go live every Monday and Thursday at 4 to 8 p.m. EST as well. And we play games on Fridays too. All right, I did the thing. Yay us. Yay us. Hey something. Hey Seer, how are you guys? Gonna get going. We're gonna get going. Do some sculpting. If you do have any questions as I'm going, please feel free to ask. Ask. It's all good. No stupid questions. All questions are good. All right. And hopefully this time too, you guys are gonna let me know if the music is too loud. It looks like it's fine because the last time it seemed like it really wasn't fine. So if it's not fine, let me know if the music is too loud. Okay? Velma. What makes you say I am Velma? How you doing? All right. What do we want to do today? I don't even know. We'll have to see. So a lot of the time I just start by taking masks. Like so. And just creating some shapes. Seems fine to you? All right, good. Thank you for letting me know. Of Linda Cardellini. I can't say that I know who that is, but I'll take your word for it. It's kind of like a sorry, just like a little bit of like a, I was gonna say like a pod racer or something. Try to get like maybe some sort of like an interesting like side shape here that I can go off of that inspires me to be something else. I don't know about this top bit here. Let's try grabbing something else. Like maybe more something like this could be kind of neat. I really like super strong graphic shapes, which is why I'm kind of going with like that big circle. It doesn't look super organic, but taking a really large inorganic, like just straight primitive, you know, in this case it's like a big circle, and then kind of creating a level of organicness afterwards, like after the fact, is a really fun exercise. In fact, you know what I'm probably inspired by right now? Is I saw somebody had a giant lily pad pond, and he had to go and prune some of them in order to help the leaf growth. And when he pulled out an entire like pad, like a whole lily pad, a really monstrous sized one, it was just so perfectly circular, and it had all of this like organic patterning on the bottom with like, you know, the veins of the leaf and everything, but it was just so perfectly circular, and I just think that that's super cool. Like anytime there is some sort of a perfect shape in nature and then you have all of that organic texture and secondary detailing and everything inside of it, is really, really cool. If there is a massive perfect cube out there in the universe, I have seen some pretty perfect looking cube-like mineral structures and crystal structures that come from the earth. There can be some pretty perfect looking things just by chance, you know? But if you're talking about just like a random floating space cube, maybe. Maybe, who's to say? Houston, we have a problem. What is that? This is Houston. What is your problem? Come in. Houston. Looks like there's just a giant cube outside of the window. Gravity tends towards anything that has a large enough mass. Gravity itself is a consequence of mass. So, if the cube had a large enough mass, like that of a planet, well, there would probably be other forces acting against it. If it started rotating and things like that, then eventually it would start to become a sphere. But if it was completely stationary, it would have its own pull, regardless of it being a sphere or not. But it would be odd to have something that massive and cube. Would you say ZBrush is hard to learn? When you first get into it, it can be really overwhelming because there's so much that isn't like other programs. If you have zero experience with other 3D softwares, I find you might be a little bit more open-minded to the way that everything is set up inside of ZBrush in order to start getting started within it. If you have this preconception when you're coming into ZBrush that it should be just like all of the other 3D softwares that you're used to, you're gonna probably struggle with finding things and get annoyed with it because it's set up in a way to make it super customizable and convenient for you to grab anything wherever you put it. I kind of think of ZBrush, like, you know, my UI layout as my artist's table, like as if I were to sit down and start painting a mini or something like that, you know, like something for a, you know, tabletop minis or something like that, right? You end up having, like, you know, all of your paints and your brushes on one side. You have everything else that you need to access, like, you know, your X-Acto knives and files and things like that at the top, and then on the other side you might have, like, you know, your light, and you need to readjust things and everything, but it's all there and you can easily grab stuff rather than like always having to sift through menus. So once you learn where everything is and you know how to customize for your workflow, it becomes super efficient. And I really like it for that. It's just that initial hump of getting over the UI itself, because you don't need to learn everything within ZBrush. You just need to learn the things that you need for your workflow and like what it is specifically that you're working on. I mean, everything, you could say that, yeah, you can say that about everything. I would say that, well, what I said just stands, but yes, of course, just dedication and you're gonna get good at it. Hey Cosmic, what's up? Shouldn't exist according to previous models of the Big Bang anyways. And they're doing that via picking up on infrared, like really, really old signals that would be given out a very, very long time ago. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if I keep clearing my throat today. I don't know what is going on. My voice is gonna crack so much. We do be brushing the Z. We do be brushing the Z up in here. Up on the Maxon channel, brushing that Z. The Z do be brushing. Brushing. The Z. You heard the Big Bang could be the ending of the universe before this one? Ah, yeah, like the cyclical theory, right? You know the theory that I really like? I really like listening to Pemrose talk about the potential of universes being within other black holes, and the potential, theoretically, to travel from one black hole, like a singularity, to another. It can sound quite fantastical, but the way that he talks about it, it kind of like inspires you to create your own little stories and stuff like that. It would get sphericized for sure, unless low mass. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is if it were like planet size, if that just like showed up, theoretically, yes, it would still have its own mass, obviously, like, you know, or its own gravitational pull because of its just sheer mass, right? But, like, if it's doing any kind of anything and existing, it's going to, like, get rounded down. Like, that's just why everything is so spherical in the universe. But imagining megastructures, too, is its own kind of fun. Hey, Bird, how's it going? I really like that one, though. It's so much fun. I really like it. And it's kind of an elegant explanation, too, in the sense that, like, if you just look around you, you can kind of see the same sort of, like, patterning that he talks about. Where it's, what's it called again? Not kaleidoscope, but it's kind of like it just keeps going like smaller and smaller. It's at the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it right now. Escher did a drawing of that with Dante's Inferno. Fractal, thank you. There we go. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's neat. It's a really neat way of looking at things. We'll never really know. I mean, nobody's thrusting themselves into a singularity and getting ready to get spaghettified anytime soon. And like, what kind of an instrument would you be able to even bring with you? You wouldn't even survive that. So it's like, yeah, your data would be potentially thrust through the singularity. But then what about you? You know, like, you wouldn't be popping out the other side the way that you are. So it's just kind of a fun thing to think about. Hey Sarth, what's up, dude? microscope. A microscope, yeah, I mean, like, if you look, if you keep going down further and further, it's kind of like the small reflects the large. If you were to look at the cosmic web of the observable universe too, it kind of looks like, anyways, like there's what am I trying to say here? There's like the same kind of like pattern reflecting at different the micro and macro scales of the universe. It's cool. I bring Parmesan. Yeah, you gotta bring Parmesan cheese. Anytime that you go near a singularity, you gotta get ready. Gotta get ready with the cheese grater, because you're about to get spaghettified. Man. Universe aside, how am I doing? Pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry for all of the throat clearing I might be doing for a little bit. Sorry about that. When am I not, like, I would love to always be talking about space stuff. I freaking love, I caught myself. Please clap. Please clap. I did it. I didn't do a swore. I love space though. I don't want to go to space either, dude. I like knowing about it though. The width of the universe is the same width as a black hole with our universe's mass. Well, what kind of a black hole too? Because the thing is, like, black holes come in a bunch of different varieties. Like, there's fun size party packs, you know? Primordial party pack black holes. There's like center of the universe black holes, or center of the galaxy black holes, like super massive black holes, right? Like what kind of a mass are we talking about here? Because we got big boys, we got little tiny guys, you know? Stephen Curry said it's the only place uncorrupted by... You actually don't know that, though. You don't know that, Bird. You can't be so sure. Okay? Alright? There are many solutions to Fermi's paradox. And one of them is that they're out there just being quiet and not bothering with us because we're just quite primitive. But what if they, you know, what if they're all capitalists out there? Huh? What if there's just massive capitalism in space and you just will never know about it because we're just primitive capitalists? Yeah, see, there you go. Sorth got it. Yeah, exactly. We don't know. The aliens might they might have come up with their own version of capitalism. Aliens save us and it's just like mega capitalists, hyper capitalists. Everyone's begging for an alien invasion and then like what if like they turn out to be worse? Infinite gravity in this economy. I mean, technically, they are making strides in black hole science. Maybe it isn't infinite after all. You know what I love? I love pulsars. Pulsars are so cool. Just the idea of the surface of those stars being technically solid in like a really like crazy way of thinking about it. Like, it's not like you would be able to actually survive on a pulsar or anything. But theoretically, let's say you were invulnerable, you could technically stand on it and be all around the star at the same time at like a super thin, super thin, like squished layer. Just because of like how crunched down everything is via the intense gravity. The mass. It's like on the brink of being a singularity, of completely collapsing. Hi Leonard, how's it going? Recently learned how gold is made, which is pretty rad. Sure. You mean like space in like gold in space, or do you mean just like the chemical process of gold molecules becoming gold molecules? You're gonna have Jasper this weekend? That's awesome. Yay. One teaspoon of pulsar weighs like 3 Mount Everests. Yeah. Exactly. Isn't that fun? I love that. That's so extreme. Like, that's crazy. Of course, you would never have a teaspoon that could actually withstand a pulsar. But just thinking about that is just, it's fun. It's just so absurd. From what you understand, it can only get created when 2 neutron stars collide, and it got spit through spit through space. Only when 2 neutron stars collide? I feel like there's probably another way. Because that's a pretty extreme thing. Like, I mean, it would be really cool regardless, though, right? Like, that's actually awesome. If that's the only way, that's I guess, yeah, it's a precious metal. I'm not so sure though. I don't know. Take your word for it. Who needs to fact check anything anyways? Just Googled it. No, I know. I'm just joking with you anyways. Is it because I don't know? I didn't know that. I had no idea. All the gold we have is a lot older than the Earth. That's, yeah, I mean, like, I can believe that for sure, yeah. Hey, Will. Aliens have ZBrush too. They have ZBrush, but with their minds. Telekinesis ZBrush. Where they just send each other models by thinking about it. 4D sculpting, yeah. Then there are universe in the stars. Do you mean stars in the universe? In the observable universe. This is important to know. Is there ZBrush in the afterlife? That's pretty profound. Universe in the stars. Ah, I see. That's also very profound. Question about Max on ZBrush. Why when starting a sculpt with a shape, you need to press Make Poly 3D? It's just an old feature of ZBrush because ZBrush started and still is technically a 2.5D program. And so, you know, way back, early days of ZBrush, there would be a lot of things where you'd be doing a lot of work in sort of like the 2.5D plane. So if you were to look at this, you have all of these 2.5D brushes. All of this is to work on a sculpt that is kind of just dropped onto the canvas. So you're technically working 3D, but you can't rotate it or anything like that. So that's why it's called 2.5D. So the reason why it's like you have to hit Make Polymesh 3D is it's just an old feature of ZBrush to start in 2.5D mode, and then you have the option to go into 3D and do your sculpting, and then come out and go into 2.5D. Yeah. It's just the nature of the program. You know, they'll probably change that, I think, going forward, just because it's a little like the workflow is outdated. But that's really why it's there. Maybe I want to do some kind of like a centaur, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. So I'm going a little slow right now. Hey, John Davis. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. The aliens know about ZBrush. If they know about us, they know about everything about us. What if the aliens are already here? What if I'm an alien? Can't the centaur. The world centaur. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, though, that some things, like, randomly I will go back to 2.5D. There's a lot of things within the 2.5D workflow that can help with, like, making really quick tileable textures, you know, just things of that nature. Like alphas, rather. Oh my god. What is wrong with my throat right now? Yeah, you can look up drop to canvas, like just dropping dropping your model into, like, from in ZBrush to canvas, and then you can use a continuous. I haven't done it for a little bit, but sometimes you go back to these things. Sorry. Hot debate amongst friends. Would you rather be a centaur or a minotaur? Sorry, minotaur. Minotaur. Wait. Minotaur. 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 I want to be a minotaur. I had to think about that for a second. Because if you really think about it, right, if you automatically went into a centaur body, your brain wouldn't be adapted to using, like, another set of limbs, essentially. So you would be going from using your arms and your legs to now using your arms and 2 sets of legs. And then the impracticality about it, like, you would have to stay outside. Like, there's no houses for you. You'd be outside. Maybe you can get a barn for yourself or something like that. Now, a minotaur would just really technically be a big dude, right? Like, just a really big dude. And your brain is already wired for that. So you wouldn't have to do a lot more learning. You wouldn't be clumsy and, like, useless, because your brain, like, you would have to, like, technically rewire in order to adapt to a centaur body, but you wouldn't have to rewire as much to adapt to being a minotaur body. It's more convenient. Think of how fast you can go, but how long it would take you to get to the point to being to even going fast. You would have to do, like, centaur physical therapy to rewire your brain to even know how to use those legs. If we could fly, we would consider it exercise and not do it. That is so real. Oh, that's so true. Because already we could go really fast if we wanted to by running, but we don't. We can also swim. We're already extremely versatile. Versatile animals, you know? Yeah, the stamina. Flying is for overachievers. Airplanes would suck. You would end up having to get like an entire row for yourself and then you'd have to sit sideways. Your team solo, you were solo team Minotaur or Minotaur. Consider a centaur's arms are human length and can't reach everywhere they would need to be while bathing. That's another thing, yeah, because like a horse body is massive. Running for fun is good. You just go outside and pick a direction. Yeah, I know. I know. You just say, you know what? I just kind of want to bolt. And then you bolt. No, Monty has not eaten any more gross things. Hey, Steph, how are you? Never look at your partner straight by being a centaur. Yeah, you'd kind of always be looking down on everybody. You'd be like towering over all your friends. Though technically speaking, you would be doing that as well as like a Minotaurs would be huge. Like you'd be huge as a Minotaur. You'd think, damn, this person loves me, Centaur. I think she's a freak. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. I gotta actually like sculpt this. I'm going so slow right now. Newbie question, do you like appending a cylinder over using an IMM brush? Personally, yeah. Yeah, I do. using an IMM brush, then a lot of the time I end up having to like split the piece so that it can be its own subtool. But it really depends. It depends on what you're doing, you know, and your like what feels right to you. If you like everything to be in one subtool, or maybe you can split things pretty quickly and it's not cumbersome. Thanks, David. David, sorry. My apologies. Appreciate it. I'm glad you liked it. Glad you like my stuff. Yeah, it's not that's not really reflected here right now. I'm going a little on the slow side. Hey Manuel, how's it going? Actually, I could probably just take this whole thing. Pull it inwards. A little bit of a stubby. Stubby. Push that back, probably right there. Horse booty. Horse booty. No time to lock in redeem. Sorry, wait, what? We don't have any redeems on this channel if that's what you're talking about. This is the Maxon channel. This is not my channel. Go Z for Blender. You've been looking for good resources on how to use it properly. I don't, actually. The only time that I don't really actually use Go Z very much. What I do is send my models directly to Keyshot for rendering. And then I usually do paint overs, or I'll just do like a render inside of ZBrush and then do a paint over on top of that. And then if I'm sending anything over to Maya, a lot of the time I just like group everything and export as FBX. Hey Zeus. 3D prints of my stuff. I only have a few. Because this this summer has been extremely hot and humid, so I haven't really been able to print too much. I've had, because I vented outside and I have my AC on the same port, so I just kind of haven't been printing a whole bunch. I'm pretty new to it. I just have like the one thing. I think I showed it the last stream. I can show it. I can show it again. I'll show it again. Like, I really wanted to like get into it more. I'll probably get into it once the giant heat waves pass. But yeah, it's like, here's, because I don't know, I don't have like a ton to show right now, but this is like from the Hellfires. I know a lot of you have already seen this thing already, but here's one of them. FDM print. Came out pretty good. Only 0.4 nozzle as well. It's not like I'm doing anything with like a 0.2. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I gotta get into painting it as well. I've got all my stuff over there ready for it, and I just like haven't had the time. Gotta find the time. Gotta find the time. I will find the time. You need time to actually finish a damn project. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because people are like, oh, well, what are you working on that's like taking up all your time? I'm like, I don't know, life? What? What do you mean? There's so many things to do. Outside of just like other things to work on. There's things to live. I have to live. There's living things to do. What? That counts as time. You gotta live. Dude, my dog is ridiculous. He's finally drinking. He goes to like he just kind of like sits there and he starts like, you can tell that he's like thirsty and he's annoyed. He wants to drink water, but he doesn't want to get up, and he just like lays there panting until his breath starts stinking because he needs to drink water. And then he'll eventually just get up and finally drink the water. Like, why are you like this? It's fresh, cold water. Monty, like you for real. It's always been like that. God damn, just drink it. Finally, dude. Finally. Thank you. Thank you. You were gassing up the room with your nasty ass halitosis breath. And I know it's not nasty breath because of his teeth, because I'd be brushing those things. It's because he just doesn't drink water, and then he just lets his food sit on his mouth. He doesn't trust the Kool-Aid. No, he's like this, like, with anything. He protests. Because he doesn't like certain noises and stuff like that. He's a very particular dog. And so when he hears certain things, or if I close the door a certain way and like he heard something when the door was closing, then he's gonna act this way. He's a drama queen. He's so dramatic, dude. He is incredible. He's the most dramatic dog I've ever had. Like, you guys don't get to see most of it. What you guys see on stream is him just laying there like a log in my arms. You don't see everything else. Brother, you good? Oh my god. I think I need to brush his teeth again after stream. Oh, dude, that's brutal. I don't know. Maybe he did eat something nasty. That is it. Wow. It'll be one of those days. Does he log when you brush his teeth? Yeah. Yeah, he just lays on the ground, closes his eyes, and just lets me, like, get in there. He doesn't open his mouth, like, for me. Like, I have to hold his mouth open or put something in there for him so that his mouth stays open. But he just kind of lays there. He doesn't really, like, fight. Alright, Seabird. Have a good night. Very loud. Yeah, see you Friday then. I'm also live tomorrow on my channel for sculpting as well. Which midway through plug time, but you can follow me on any of my socials and my own stream here. You type in acubed.art/links. Wow, I had to like look at my own website. Hold on here, I'll just drop it in the chat. Here you go. Yay. Yay! Wahoo! Hello, greeting from Costa Rica. Hello, greeting from Canada. How are you? Quick question. What's the model of the tablet that I'm using? I am using a very old Cintiq. It is the 22 HD from Wacom. It only has a 1080p resolution. It'd be really sick to get like a 2K or... yeah, just like a 2K even resolution tablet. But this one has been doing me really well. Yeah, nice. Very nice, very nice. Which one would I suggest you buy? Well, that would be really hard for me to recommend because I haven't tried anything lately outside of Wacom. So there are other like tablet brand models, but I have not tried a whole bunch of them, so it'd be kind of hard for me to recommend. This one is really good, but I just don't think that they like sell them anymore. I think that they're selling the newer models, but they're quite expensive. Like Wacom is quite expensive, so and you don't necessarily need like a desktop, or you don't need like a screen tablet in order to do ZBrush. You can also have just like a desktop one. A table one. You just want to make sure that you're getting something that's big enough to work. You have enough space to work in. Like, I wouldn't recommend getting a smaller size tablet, like, one of those like 13-inch things or anything. That can be actually pretty frustrating to work with. So as long as it's like not that small, then I think anything would really work. Whatever's in your price range. Because the competitors apparently have picked up. So Wacom isn't like, the end-all be-all of tablets anymore. Used to be that way. Not anymore. Planning an upgrade from the table one. Got it, got it. Yeah. Then there, you should check out the, like, Huion, I guess, like, XP pen, like Zeus is saying. Like, there's a bunch that you can check out that isn't, Wacom. I would just, like, recommend, as well, having, like, a minimum of, like, 8,000 pressure point. So, because, like, if you have something less than that, you're not gonna get good, pressure variation with your pen. I'm pretty sure most stuff comes with, like, more than that now, though. You love your Huion 4K? You've used the Wacom one as well and you can't tell the difference? That's good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, it's like, you know, competitors have come a long way. I just haven't personally used them, so I can't, like, actually recommend one thing over the other. Yeah, no worries. Sorry I can't give you a more definitive answer. I'm using old tech. Hey hostess, how's it going? How are you? And I can probably just do one of these and then I'll split them around. Yeah, centaur. We're doing a really chill centaur sculpt today. I am pretty low energy myself, so centaur just be standing here chilling just like me. This is a finger? Is it? Can you point to the screen and tell me where the finger is? Good job, John. That's a finger. Can you say finger? Finger. That's my finger. Oops, why did I do that? There we go. Finger. The music really helps you to keep working, you noticed recently? Like this music? Yeah, it makes me, it kind of makes me sleepy, to be honest. Usually on my streams, I'm listening to a lot more like a faster tempo. This copyright-free stuff makes me pretty sleepy. Gotta be copyright-free though on this channel. Oh, whoops. Did that not... Oh. Why isn't it... Hello? Oh, that's why I had a... Okay, my bad. Yeah, you can't Dynamesh when you have things masked. Gotta make sure it's not masked. Hey, Gazi. Good job saying finger. You guys are so smart. As a centaur is chill, he's not going to the lazy river. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Hope everybody is safe from the evil salad. Salads aren't evil, they have fiber. They also have a parasite that everybody's afraid of right now. Poor Centaur, you have to feed him a bit more. No, no, no. Skinny Tor. Skinny Tor has the parasite, okay? I'll come back to the hands. They're fine gesturally. I think up here. Gotta do something. You know what? Nobody told me to save. And then, because nobody told me to save, I haven't saved. Like, if I crashed right now, you know whose fault that would be? Everyone in chat. It'd be all of your fault. If I lost all of this, it would be everybody in here's fault. Unbelievable that you didn't remind me to save. It's your fault. Not mine. Yours. If you see an accident happening, do you step in and intervene? Or do you bystand and watch? And would the bystander technically also be complicit then? Because they had the opportunity to intervene and chose not to. Me not saving and crashing would have been your fault. That's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah, it's a thinker, isn't it? It's a thinker. You're gonna be cosplaying for the- what are you cosplaying? Lab coat? What are you cosplaying? Who are you dressing up as? Someone smart? Oh my god, Professor Oak, okay. Wait, like old Professor Oak? And like Professor Oak, like what era? Does that mean that you're gonna have dude, you know what would be so funny? Is if you print out dude, listen, you have to do this. Print out like 30, no, more, like 60 just small prints, like not 3D, just like on paper, prints of Tauros. And then just like put them on like a board and have them like behind you. Just carry them around with you. Just you gotta do that. What? Why? Horses? Oh my god, dude. Okay, what the? Why? Where did that even come from? What? What? Do you know Haas, do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Are you lost? I don't even know where that came from, my guy. By the way, guys, I'm sorry. I'm like pretty like low steam today, so if you have any questions, do just like drop them at me and I can tell you your answer. I will give you your answer. If you drop me your question, I will answer. Yeah. Street Fighter 2 and not Pokemon? I still don't know where it would have come from. It's okay. It's okay. You want to claim it was a ghost on your keyboard? All right. Think you're comfortable with anatomy, you immediately find another area you're weak in. That is the nature of it, and you're always gonna, it's never gonna end. You're always gonna be finding areas that you can improve with anatomy. They aren't naked. That's what. Uh. Skinny miniatures or minotaurs? Do love me a skinny creature. You know why? It's because I just really like bones, bony structures, tendons, stretching, pulling, tension. You can get that with like bulkier creatures as well, but it's like you get to really exaggerate that with like skinnier forms. That's what I like to do. I mean, I can't do a bulky. But I do like me some skinny. The elbow is tough for you? Yeah, that's probably because like the whole the whole ulna situation is pretty pretty wild. If you strip it down, to its bare minimum. Remember, like, certain, you know, where the bone heads connect, and then where the main muscle groups will connect. You can just start laying everything else on top of it afterwards. Flying naked dude with long arms and toruses as necklaces? Or what? Doll sim. I thought you said dollyism. I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about Street Fighter. I don't. Well, other than the obvious ones. What is an area of anatomy that I struggle with? Everything. Everything. No, I really struggle to remember. I need to reference quite a bit in the shoulder blade region in different positions. Up versus down where the clavicle ends up attaching. I can more or less get it, but I definitely benefit from reference in this area when there's like raised shoulders and different positions, because there's a lot of different there's a lot of variation that happens right in this zone specifically. Lots of interconnecting parts there. The armpit's hard for you? Yeah, there's also, yeah, again, like a lot of stuff happens just in this area. There's like a lot going on. So I don't blame you at all. One thing you know where the muscle goes, but it's another thing knowing how it looks with fat and skin on top. Yeah, like studying from crochets and then studying from real life, just switching between the two is really important so that you can learn. You have an art book, or do you plan on working on one in the future? Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, maybe at some point I'll actually put a whole bunch of stuff together. I would love to. I would actually love to sit down and create like kind of a bestiary or something a little bit more cohesive than a whole bunch of the random sketches that I just do. I would really like to do that, yeah. No plans though, but it would be pretty sick. Hey RVT! Puts the deer god into deer god. The deer god. That reminds me, we were playing Alan Wake on my stream. 'Cause on Fridays we play games. We just got finished with Alan Wake. And they would not stop with the deer fest. Oh my god. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it, but holy Deer Fest. Deer Fest! Everything was about Deer Fest. Deer Fest was the main character. Hey Krilla, what's up? Oh wait, did Nightbot just like cook you? No. No, Krilla. Nightbot cooked you. I'm sorry. I don't have any control over Nightbot. It really doesn't like it when you put 3 emotes at the same time. Horror Master! Wow, thank you. Thank you, that is an honor. Yeah, no, I just do the live streams. I don't work for them. Yeah, no workies. No worky for me. Not for Maxo. I never did work for them either. Just just stream here for the sake of streaming here. Stands for a Maxon employee. I am not working for Maxon. Nope. I just do it for the love of the game. Do I use any other tools other than ZBrush? Yep, depends on what I'm doing, but if I'm just doing like concept work, then it's ZBrush Keyshot and Photoshop. Sometimes Substance, depending on how demanding the texture work needs to be, how specific it needs to be. Otherwise, modeling, I usually use Maya, sometimes Blender. Not very frequently Blender. I need to get better at Blender, but Blender, sometimes I'm in Unreal, not super frequent, but it's in the arsenal. Geo nodes. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, they're very useful. Geometry nodes. Really, I don't think I want to do that. I'm gonna keep these and Claymation inside of ZBrush. I actually haven't. There is an artist that does that. I'm sure you actually know who I'm talking about, Alexander. Like, he has an entire workflow. You like this guy's head? Thanks. Thanks. Ba, ba, ba. GeoNodes lets you control curve across sections and taper really easy. Yeah. Yeah, you can do a taper within ZBrush as well, but when it comes to like a lot of procedural and procedural modeling like that, ZBrush is like first and foremost like a sculpting software. A watery alien. Yeah, we're kinda it's not like a fantasy creature. A lot of the time my stuff ends up getting very like surreal. Heading out? Alright, John. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. Have an awesome time being Professor Oak. Don't forget about the Tauros. No perpetual license. Yeah, they have a subscription. They have a free trial. But yeah. $2022 is perpetual, but I'm not sure if they still offer that. I think you're only able to like get the subscription now. Do I sell my creature designs? I don't have any STLs up for purchase right now. I'm hoping in the cooler months, when I can actually R&D stuff properly with my printer, that I can get some stuff up. But right now it's too humid and hot, so I can't really like get anything cooking, you know? Think I'm gonna go take like a really quick break And then I'll be right back. So like maybe give me like 3 minutes. And I'll be back. Just gotta go to the bathroom really quick. Remember to save your work, grab some water, all that stuff. And I'll be back for another 2 hours, just taking a quick break. So BRB on the screen, muting, and I'll be back. Okay? All right. Burb. the boy is here. The boy who wishes so badly all the time to be on screen to say hello. Here he is in all of his glory with his Monty. Sir Monters. Yes. Oh, he's a happy guy. He's a happy log today. You a happy log? Are you a happy log? Hey? You a happy log? Oh yes. Oh yes. Say hi to chat. Hi chat. Hello. You're a good boy. Yes. You did it. Ready? One big hello. And then back down. One big hello. Ready? Ready? You're gonna do it? Ready? And whee! Hi, chat! Okay, bye, chat! Yay! Good boy! Good boy! Good boy! Good jobs! Woo! Okay. He's a good boy. I need some horse. I need to look at my horse anatomy. My horse anatomy. I need to figure out how to make this chest area work. Oh yeah. Not for there. Should be. Downward facing triangle or diamond shape. They're kind of already doing that, unless you mean like actually like just like put them in a cone. Fingers in a cone. Cone hands. It's too high res. Whoops. Oopsie daisies. Minotaur. No, wait, sorry, Centaur. It's not Minotaur. My brain right now, dude. I don't know. There's something about today. I don't know if like any of you ever get this problem where if it's been like super hot and then there's like a 15 to 20 degree like sudden drop in temperature, it's like I just like cease to function properly. That's sort of like what's happening right now. It's like all of a sudden like super windy outside. 20 degrees Celsius compared to like the 30 somewhat like some odd that it was. And then tomorrow it's going right back up to 30. It's like what the hell? Like it makes sleeping hard. That's what it really is. Sleep is all messed up because of it. I guess I can like do something with the spine region here. I don't want to like move this up so it almost like connects into where the obliques end. And then the lats can come all the way down. I feel like I can have that. Reach back more akin to like a horse's neck. Just for like stabilization, because that is you'd have to have crazy core strength. Like centaurs would have crazy core strength. So I feel like compensating with some back strength actually makes some kind of sense. Wait, hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Duck-billed centaur. Mayhaps. Mayhaps. It might have... Well, it's not really. It doesn't really have kind of a more of like a beak shape. Like, well, no. Bill, duck, beak. It's more of like a pointed beak rather than like a shoe bill kind of thing. But maybe. Who's to say? Hey, bud, stop, stop. Thank you. Thank you. The toucan centaur, yeah. Kinda, almost. It's got like a stronger lower jaw. Did I come from 2D drawing paint before working in ZBrush? Yeah, I did. Yep, I came from 2D, and then I discovered ZBrush and I started sculpting before I even knew how to properly model. And I still draw and paint. I have not really stopped doing that. Actually, I should just do it the other way. Hi, Bubbles. How are you? How's it going? Working on anything cool that you can tell us about? Well, I mean, I'm working on this right now. I don't see why I would be able to why I wouldn't be able to tell you about that. I think it's kind of cool. I'm doing all right. A little bit like low energy today though, for sure. Hey, Caligo. He also used to do 2D sketches before ZBrush. You still struggle with designs. 3D is difficult. It can be. It definitely can be. But once you grasp that it's just drawing, you just do it in multiple angles, right? Like you just gotta break things down to their most basic forms and then add on top of that. Things start to get a little bit easier the more you practice working with like simpler shapes. Because if you look at this, right, like it reads as a design, but there's not like a whole lot of complicated stuff going on here. I'm working from low res, bigger shapes, and then working my way up, rather than, you know, trying to sculpt every single detail right away. It's kind of the same as like when you are drawing, you're not directly copying one-to-one every single detail that you see when you're doing like a still life or something like that. You're in essence drawing the feeling of what it is that you see, the texture of what you see, the interpretation, like the simplification of what you see. You can make it as detailed as you want afterwards, right? But then when you're trying to capture something like to draw, you're not going to draw every single brick individually. For example, you might draw the wall as like, you know, here's like the square shape, and then within that you'll gesture a couple of bricks to signify that it is a brick wall, and, you know, a couple of lines here and there. But you won't be usually going through and just going brick, 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 right? Because then you lose the purpose of the drawing. And so it's kind of the same thing in 3D. Is I'm not going through and putting down all my details to start. I'm going through and finding the primal forms of what it is that I'm working on. And then from there, I'm building up details enough to suggest what it is. And if I want to keep going further and get it super detailed, then absolutely, but not to the point where the details detract from the overall design. You still want a level of flow to what it is that you're doing, right? Hey, Kate. Nightbot doesn't like 3 emotes. You can do maximum 2 emotes. Yeah, Nightbot only lets you do 2 emotes. To match your mood, now you feel 1. Just 2, yep. Just 2. 2 is fine. You'll pass the guards if you use 2. Sculpt is more shredded than Hugh Jackman after dehydrating it for a few days. Yeah, he's, well, I mean... It's, I don't know, he's kind of saggy, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's shredded, he's more saggy than anything. I'd like him to be more shredded. I'm just kind of trying to lay out, like, positioning right now, and, like, looking at, like, my horse anatomy. Trying to get something a little bit more interesting in this region. My horse. Give a small demo of how GeoSoftForms is different than Damien Standard, how you decide when you want to use which one. Yeah, sure. So Damien Standard, it's like here. So if I'm going to use Damien Standard, it does this. Okay? Pretty nice. Pretty nice. However, these two forms are not very close together. So if you wanted to have more of a pinching effect, that's what GeoSoftForms does. Let me reset the brush so like its base thing is like this. So you can actually just like build up on it if you want. And then you can get a much cleaner pinch. Whereas if I were to, you know, use Damien, it's a harsher fall off. This one has a rounding effect. This one does not. You can get a similar effect with Damien Standard by changing the focal shift and lowering the Z intensity, increasing your brush size. Like this. But this one will give you a very, like, sharp pinch on the inside. So essentially where I'm using Damien Standard is just for, like, quick just like quick drawing things or whatever, just to like get like holes in. And then GeoSoftForms I actually use for a lot of like of my line work, I guess, inside of like my sculpts. I like to use it to define more specific muscular separations. Damien Standard I will just like use just to go quick, if that makes sense. It's sort of more of my sketching brush. GeoSoftForms is more of my refinement brush. So Damien Standard I use as a sketching brush. GeoSoftForms more of a refinement and less of a guide brush. Personally, everybody has like their own way of like using different brushes, right? Like some people might sketch with GeoSoftForms. Sometimes I actually do. Like sometimes I actually do use it as a sketching form just to kind of create a series of like weird details that I can then Dynamesh and work on top of. So it's not always a refinement brush for me, but that's like the general use case. Like a fingernail scratch? I don't have any fingernails to do that kind of damage. I chop mine straight off. Like working with long nails with like a pen or anything is such a nightmare, dude. I just chop mine off. Could not be bothered. Hey Don. How's it going? Dandy and tired, but glad to be off work. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm also pretty tired today. You're ready to make the switch from hospital to 3D art full time? Oh man. Yeah, if you do that, it'd be sick. You gonna work studio? You're gonna work freelance. You gotta have your clients lined up before you do that switch. Well, you don't have to, but I would recommend it. It's a bird centaur looking thing. Just like that. Just like you said. Stream you did of the female. Oh, I don't like it when people say the female. Oh, it makes me feel so weird. I mean, of the woman. Of the woman. Yeah. Yeah, I should do some more I should do some more figure sculpting streams for sure. I'll probably do more of those on my own channel. Just on like the more chill days, you know? Canada, you don't have to worry about health insurance as a contractor, correct? Yeah, you kind of do. I mean, I'm not gonna get like too into stuff like that right now, but medication isn't fully covered. Dental is covered if under 100K earning a year. That's only recently been a thing, but you know, there's been like this weird push for a lot of like privatization of health services lately, and the degradation of our public services. So it's kind of a, you still kind of need, you just kind of, you don't have to get health insurance, but if you don't have it, some medications might be priced out of your range, and you'll just have to wait a long time for certain things, certain tests and stuff, if you end up in that situation. You would like if you did one of the male. a male figure. A man? You want to see a man figure sculpt? You can do a man figure sculpt. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, specialists are free, right? They are free here. It's just the wait list has become so long that, you know, privatization is kind of sneaking its way in as well. Which is big uggo in my opinion. I do not like. What part of sculpting do I enjoy the most? I think there's so many different aspects that I like about each stage of it. I really enjoy like the block out to get like really strong shapes. But then I also thoroughly enjoy detailing and just getting lost in the sauce of just like, you know, just like this kind of stuff, like, you know, line work and things of that nature, and creating like a internal flow of the creature. And then I also just really like posing stuff. I like creating like a just flow in any aspect of the sculpting stage. If I can make something flow, I'm a happy girl. Happy girl. Happy. The goblin. Goblins don't have a sex now. They're just goblin. Yeah, for-profit health. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. A lot of people here aren't happy with it. There's big pushback on that stuff. Post office mail figure? What? Dawn, what? An envelope or a parcel? They should be pretty easy, like a few planes at the most, and 3D print it, then put some postage stamps on it. Yeah, nice. And then actually just mail it. Just mail it. I don't know where, but that will be its sole purpose. 4 weeks and it was totally free. Yeah, well, same here. I had to go in and out of the hospital for a few like years. And it was free. Like, that's the beauty of universal healthcare. However, if you're not having an like, it's here, it's a little complicated because there's been a push. But people be pushing back. When you begin to sculpt, do you have a clear vision of the character in your mind, or you discover the character as you work? So for streams like this, we just discover it. Like, we're just going. We're straight going with it. There's not really like any plan or anything like that. But if I have a specific thing that I want to do, yeah, I usually have some kind of an idea, at least, what it is that I want to go with. But a lot of the time when you are sculpting, you know, things just start to change and it tells you kind of what it wants to be. Some things work, some things don't. You can have like a super clear image in your head, and then once you start to sculpt, it starts to take a different form anyways. And I don't mind that personally, because it's still an aspect, right? Like, I would essentially think of what I can see in my head as my forefront thought, right? Like my conscious thought. But then when I start to sculpt, that is more of a, you know, my baked in experience overall coming through and more of like the subconscious coming out. So I don't mind that the two kind of mingle, and it allows for something a little bit more organic rather than being so tied to, no, this is what I see in my head, it has to be exactly this. It allows me to be a lot more free and forgive myself as well a lot more, and be excited about what comes out too. It's sort of like a self-discovery. Every time I do something, I'm like, huh, yeah, that could work. Yeah. It's almost like a conversation with yourself in a way, you know, without sounding too frou-frou, but it does feel like that at times when you just start getting into the zone. Like conversation with yourself you know, with a part of yourself that you don't necessarily get to interact with and talk to. That has to come out physically rather than thinking of mentally. I hear you can mail things to yourself. Yes. Yeah. You can. Yeah, I don't like the for-profit system. It is not, it's literally that, for-profit. It is not for people. It's not good. It's not like the doctors are getting all of that money either. Or the nurses. Anyways, I don't want to get into that on this channel. It's not my channel. This is the Maxon channel. This is the Maxon channel, guys. Do you think Goku could drink gasoline? I mean, he's an alien and gasoline can technically be edible. Humans just can't break it down, so maybe. Sure. Sure, Thirsty. I don't want to connect this area. Yeah, I could technically use that. I think I gotta lower these guys. this here. This would come up, get that going up to create a little bit more like a ledge here. Since it's not like, it's not technically a pelvis under there, kind of think I need the, well, okay, I'm thinking of the bone structure. There would be a pelvis there, a pelvis at the front, but it would be like kind of like a half. It would be like a half. It's like a, yeah, it would be sticking forward, attached to the back, and then these guys would actually, there would be like some sort of like a connection in the hip area. Okay. So then these guys could technically be pushed outwards slightly, maybe at a 45-degree angle. Because they could be coming outwards. And then this would be in. If you go Super Saiyan, maybe that might change things. Maybe. Perhaps. How much time does it take you to finish a project, and how much time are you usually given to complete the one within the industry? Each project is different depending on what it is that you're working on, who you're working for. Things can take a range of time. I've worked on projects, you know, in studio or for a studio that it's like next day delivery, to 8 months I'm working on something straight, right? Like it really just depends on what it is that you're doing at any given time. More complicated, more realistic things, if you're not using just scan data, if you've got picky clients, like all of these things come into consideration when it comes to like time. I think, you know, when you're first starting out, you might be really concerned with like, you know, going fast and how fast can you go, etc. I wouldn't worry so much about that. Like, yes, like to a degree it matters. Like you don't want to be spending like 9 months on one figure sculpt, and it's like you haven't done a lot of figure sculpting and you're trying to do a study. Like that's ridiculous, right? Like, so it has to be like within reason as well. But overall, I would say that time spent on something, like your speed, you just will naturally get faster and faster. So don't like beat yourself up if certain things take long. If it takes long, it usually means that you're still learning in, you know, maybe you're not so sure about arm anatomy, and doing like sculpting an arm is taking you a long time. It just means that you need to learn that arm anatomy better, because the more you know something, the less you're just going to keep going back and fixing and second guessing and stuff. You're just going to go, you're going to get something down and it's going to look right. Bing, bang, boom. So speed comes with knowledge. Don't beat yourself up too much about that right out the gate. But when it comes to these streams, these are just 4-hour things. Sometimes afterwards, if I'm going to post it afterwards, I end up doing like another hour, maybe a little bit more off stream, but it's usually just like a one sitting and it's done kind of a deal. Like I don't go crazy with these sculpts or anything on stream. I have some projects, personal projects that I'm taking some more time on, like larger ones, but for the most part, yeah, it's... Yeah. Hey Sig, how are you doing? Thinking, okay, this, I need it to come so that it's like kinda like there is some sort of like a hip structure underneath. And this would be the ligaments anyways would be attached upwards. Installing your tablet to do some 3D while watching the stream. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Oh. Gotta do your stretches, man. The horse does go clip-clop. Good job, Thirsty. Do you know what the cow says? It goes, moo. You just watched the back rooms and things got weird. Yeah, it was a... I like watching the theories. I like the theories that people have about why certain things are the way that they are in that movie. Definitely not the same as, like, Kane has his, like, own... He's got his own, Backrooms universe, separate from, like, the OG Backrooms. In Italian. Okay. You got it, Baubles. You got it. You did it. That's correct. House belongs to cats because the word home owner has meow in it. Well, that took me way too long to find the meow and homeowner. I was squinting. Hey Crockett, you made a centaur once, you couldn't get over the whole crotch neck area. Yeah, it can be difficult to think about that entire zone anatomically and how it would function. There's a few different solutions that you could approach it with. I am approaching it with more back stability because I think otherwise, if you don't have like a bunch of back stability going on, the core strength required to stay upright with a center of gravity that's like back here would actually, it would be pretty intense. Like you would need like like crazy abs. Crazy abs. So I'm kind of like doing more of like a back support, where it's holding it, it's pulling back with the lats, or not the lats, sorry, the the lats. No, not the lats. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I have a headache right now. But yeah, it's like pulling backwards. The lats of us. The lats of us. Not the lats of us. That ain't a horse. What is it then? You never saw any still lives anywhere else? Yeah, so Kane has his own like side thing. Everybody thinks because like, yeah, the OG video, but the original back rooms came from a creepypasta of some image that was posted on Reddit of like this weird yellow room of this place that was like put up for sale or something, and it just looked really like odd and liminal, and then everybody went crazy with it, right? Like they just created all of this lore, and then liminal spaces became more of a thing. Hey bud, can you stop? Thank you. Oh my gosh, the foot feast. All I'm hearing is I mean, I should say liminal spaces was already a thing, but it became popular because of the creepypasta backroom stuff. Yeah, racetrack, yeah. It was just like a really weird image. The Backrooms was as much of a zeitgeist as Slender Man. Yeah, I'd say so. I would definitely say, honestly, creepypastas it's just in general has had such a massive effect on like not just horror, but like internet culture and um like games as well. Like it's just like yeah, the just like these like really like quick little ideas that turn out to be things that you can create entire universes from. I still remember playing the original Slender Man game too. Like when that stuff first started coming out. Way, way long ago. So spooky. At the time, anyways. Would not hold up anymore. Indie devs for sure, for sure. For sure. Yeah, and now we're having like this moment of like all of these Hollywood producers are like, oh, we gotta start funding this. Like this is where the money's at. Which is like both a like, yay, we get our creepypastas, we get our indie films into the spotlight with a bigger budget, but then at the same time, all I can think of is, oh my god, the copyright nightmare is coming. It's just another thing that is going to be monetized on the internet. Oh my gosh. Bender Man. What, like, from Futurama? Hey, Magnus. First time you caught me on live, always wanted to ask you how you prevent your thin forms from collapsing on themselves and causing mesh errors. Sometimes I do it on purpose. Sometimes I want the mesh errors. Sometimes I will be sculpting on things like this and I'll have backface masking on, so if you use any of your brushes, you can enable backface masking by going to brush right here and then scrolling down to masking, auto masking, which is right here, and then scroll some more and you will see backface masking. So you will only be able to sculpt on one side of a mesh rather than both sides, and it won't crunch down onto the same thing. And then if you are doing like, you know, Dynamesh on anything at any given point, and you're starting to get like the Swiss cheese effect, just, you know, tap it a few times with an inflate. That's usually what I do. And you're good to go. When I start creating a human character, how do you usually build your base? Do you start from a sphere, base mesh, or use another approach? All of the above. All of the above, depending on the vibe. And also what it's going to be used for. If I need to go fast, base mesh, right? If I want to do something more gestural and figurative, then I'm going to probably just go in with primitives. And sometimes just like straight from like a sphere, I'll just start cooking the mesh as well. It really just depends. friend recently told you that a reference piece you were working on was a lot better than your normal work. The only difference I could tell was the exaggerated stylizing on the piece and maybe the posing. How would you go about learning to be better with these? So okay, so that tell was the exact okay, so if somebody yeah, so if you're like working on reference stuff, was it wait, so the reference piece that you were working on was a lot better than your normal work. Yeah, so if you're working on reference stuff, I mean, somebody's like drawing or whatever, that's already established. And it can be a little bit easier to solve what it is that you're doing if you're just kind of like doing like a one-to-one working off of something that already exists. And if you already do like your own work, that can be a little bit like frustrating to hear for sure. Like if somebody's like, oh yeah, this thing that you just copied is actually better than the stuff that you do regularly. It depends on if you want to go down that route of stylization, like, or if that was more of like a piece that you wanted to do sort of just to practice and study off of. If you want to adopt more of those stylizations, I guess, tendencies from that specific style, then you're going to want to try to break down how that artist does things. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be you. So you kind of have to find your own style as well. And that kind of just comes with time. I would say like the main thing, like when that was happening to me, like when I was starting to like, cause I started in animation and I did a lot of like really stylized stuff as well. And I still sometimes get it from certain people, but you have to remember that it's very subjective, right? Is somebody will say, oh, your stylized work, this, or this is so much better. Why don't you do more of that? So it really comes down to you. What do you want? Rather than listening to what somebody else thinks is the best, what do you want to pursue? And so I wouldn't really like focus too hard and like make that like the pinnacle and be like, no, like I have to do this because somebody said that it was better or whatever. I would try to focus more on what makes you happier, the subject matter that makes you happier, because sometimes we do, like for me, for example, like I'll explore different styles, and one person's preference for a different style will be more so over what I do for just sketching, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better or worse, and everything kind of just lends itself to improving your work overall. So I wouldn't really lean on that too much. It's nice that somebody, you know, said something nice about your work though, right? But I can also understand that it can be a little bit of like a ding to the ego too, because it's like, well, does that mean that me copying something is better than the stuff that comes out of my head, right? But that's just like, again, one person's opinion. It's not always a universal thing. It's not objective, it's subjective. Could you tell me what people mean by non-destructive modeling in ZBrush? So non-destructive modeling in ZBrush would be something where you can go between a higher resolution and a lower resolution without like losing the ability to go back at some point and fix things. Like a very destructive workflow would be what I'm doing right now, right? Where, okay, so I'm doing all my detailing here and then I want to just like dynamesh this. Well, I'm going to lose some of the detail. That's destructive. That's very destructive. But it's okay for sketching. I don't really care. However, if you wanted to have more control over things, you would use things like the dynamic subdiv panel here and work on things low resolution. For example, if I grab a box here, right, and I wanted this to look smooth, but I wanted to do it in a non-destructive way, well, you can put on dynamic here, and preview with higher subdivision levels, but it's still technically a low resolution box. So this is non-destructive. You can preview what it's going to look like at a higher resolution without it being that way, and you can go back and forth about you know, from high to low. You don't have to worry about that. See how you can switch between the two. Another non-destructive way about doing things is like creasing, right? So creasing isn't permanent topology. Creasing would be coming through and temporarily telling ZBrush that, let's say if I grab crease here, I say edge loop complete, and I just do that. That just tells ZBrush when you're in dynamic subdiv to look at this as if it's a sharp edge, but that's just a crease. It's not real topology. So if I take the crease off, where is it? Crease, and I just say uncrease all, you can just like get it gone again. It's not like a permanent decision. Whereas if I were to, let's say apply the dynamic subds, this is now like anything that you do on this will affect, right? If I go lower, it's now affecting the low res as well. So this is destructive in a sense, unless that is intentional. If you delete, let's say you had like a higher resolution sculpt and you had like a low resolution sculpt and you increased it, projected details, now you have a multi-subdivision body of like a character, and then you deleted the low resolution subdivision levels with like the UVs and stuff, and you just started sculpting on the high res, that's destructive, right? So that's kind of the thing, is like, can you go back and forth? Can you make your mistakes, fix your mistakes without it, you know, without repercussions? That's destructive versus non-destructive. Where does this guy's stomach go? He's got multiple stomachs. You know, like cows have multiple stomachs? I feel like there's probably a bunch of different stomachs. He's got some stomach working up here, and then it continues into more stomach down here. Lots of stomach. Or he's got stomach up here, and he just has to constantly eat, and he's just got like a massive stockpile of bowels. Maybe. Isn't it better to learn realism anyways if you want to do stylized? There isn't a better or worse, because if you're going, if you're doing something a lot more graphic, for example, like, okay, so first we have to establish, when we say stylized, you have to establish what style, because stylized means anything that isn't hyperreal, or yeah, just like straight realism. Because even games like, you know, that you would consider realism, and movies and things like, everything has a style to it, right? So if you're not just taking a picture of something, that's still, it has a style to it, right? Classical work has a style to it. It's classical, right? So you kind of have to like establish what you mean by that. It's not enough to just say stylized work, you need to learn realism in order to be better at stylized. That's not true. You can learn to be very graphic about certain things, and that can lend itself to a very gorgeous style as well, right? But if you want to learn anatomy, so for example, I wasn't at the level of anatomy that I'm at right now when I first started doing my work as a stylized, like a more like cartoony stylized artist in the industry. I didn't have the same level of anatomy knowledge that I have now, but I did have simplistic anatomy knowledge enough that I could simplify forms in an appealing way So you don't need to be a classical anatomy genius in order to do stylized and like a certain level of stylized anatomy, right? Like, if you want to get better at, you know, a more realistic and grounded style, learning realism, like, and working from real life and doing real studies will always give you a good foundation, though. You wouldn't mind learning it, you just don't know where to go with it or how to start. You're not gonna, like, change, but you want to learn so you can use when you want. You just don't know how to go about it. Studies. So if you're, wait, you mean like you want to adopt how certain artists do their stylization? I would say, yeah, you just have to do studies and be very intentional about their line work, for example, and like what their, because everybody has a tendency to certain ways that they will simplify things and their lines of action, everything, you know, even how their characters tell stories. It's very individual for each person. They'll have different ways of doing things. So you know, per artist that you're looking at, if you really admire what they do and you want to know, like, how does that stand out? Like, where is that appeal coming from? Sometimes just breaking down the image and like looking at it in a very simple way will help you understand that. So like, okay, silhouette, what does that look like? Are there specific things that they're doing silhouette wise? Line weight, what's their line weight looking like? When they pose characters, how are they posing characters? Their expressions, do they have tendencies to use different expressions in different ways? Color is another one. Simplification of anatomy. What do they show and what do they not show? Not all details, especially when it comes to cartoony stylized stuff. A lot of details are omitted, and you have to start thinking about things more graphically and in the sense of, like, you know, in a design sense of, okay, well, certain things are going to be spaced out more than others. You're going to have areas of rest as opposed to just everything just kind of existing together at any given point and lots of busyness. Hey Rodham, how are you? Hey yo, thank you so much. But like, you know, overall, when it comes to picking things up, you will naturally pick things up if you do more studies. Just do a lot of it, right? If you want to learn, there's nothing wrong with doing master studies, for example. Like, that's a great way to learn. The only problem that ever comes from any of that is passing it off as if it's your own, because it's not. This is never going to be your own. Like, that's somebody else's concept. If you should try studying the 2D stuff and then apply 3D afterwards, since you've learned it. That, yeah, it's up to you, really. It really is up to you. I would break it down into like simple forms though, because once you do that, you're able to really sculpt anything. It doesn't matter the style. If you can break something down and you're good at breaking it down into its simplest forms and then building up on top of that, then you can sculpt literally anything. As soon as you're able to grab proportion and like the fundamental of the concept or the thing that you're looking at, you can sculpt anything. What methods do you use to improve your anatomy and realistic skills? Sculpt from life and crochets and do a lot of like animal studies and things of that nature, right? This one has not gone very far today. I have had a headache the entire stream. So we didn't really like get a full concept going here, but it's something. Something. Is my eye dry? No, I've got some neck problems right now, and it like puts pressure on my nerves, and then my whole face ends up hurting. Hey, Ant, how's it going? Was the most complex, hardest model I've ever done. Complex, hardest model. Ooh. Probably the more complex one that I've done on stream would be that bell thing. The Chimera sculpt that I did. Wait, here. I'll show you. Why not? Let's open it. It's gonna take a little bit because it's massive. Massive. This one. This one. This one was a lot. It was really fun though. But yeah. Whee! Bells and torture. Love us some bells and torture and horns. Neato burrito. How many subtools? This many. This many. Let's see. Yeah, and then all of those have 3 in them. Horn, 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 horn. Woo! Look at all of them. Look at all that. Woo! Yay! It's only 30 million polys though. Only 30 mil polys. We've also got some poly paint on all of it. Yes, sir. And that was that was this. This, which I actually have like a print of. You can see it in the background. It actually turned out, the prints turned out really good. Here, let me show you. Let me show you. I actually think I forgot to show off the print quality on stream at any given point. I forgot that. I got an imprint and it actually turned out real nice, like just like how you see on the screen. It turns out, which is sick. Here's a big face. Big face. Look at that. That's not bad. That's pretty nice if you ask me, and it's like thick paper too. It is really nice. So I've got a bunch of my my illustrations up on imprint. I gotta put this in there. Yeah, I gotta get it framed still. Just take my sweet time with that stuff. My goodness. But yeah, like all my links, the imprint, my socials, like you can check like all of my work and everything on the links that I just posted in chat, or right here, acubed.art/links. It's the fine art prints, the matte cap pack if you wanted that. You can look at my art. You can follow me on my Twitch. You can do whatever you want. Or none of it. It's up to you. But yeah, this is, this was that one. This was that one. We even did a little bit of a 3D rotation. And then here's the work in progress. How I put it all together. Woo! Yeah, 3D print would be insane to set up for something like this. I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon. And then there's like a little bit of like a flavor text I always put in here with all of the stuff. Because I like giving my stuff a little bit of flavor. A little bit of flavor. Retop it? Why? For what purpose? Like, there's not really a purpose to always retopping things. You retop if you need to make it production ready and it needs to be rigged, for example. Like, there's not really a reason to retop all of your sculpts. Like, if you're doing that for your portfolio in order to get a job as a 3D modeler, then you need to do retop. But if you are doing it like I was just doing it for illustration purposes, sculpture purposes, right? There's really no, you don't have to. You really don't have to. Retop that for fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd rather put my toes in a doorway and slam it a few times. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for looking. No, I know. I'm aware you're joking. You know. Because nobody would retop that for fun. How do you decide which sculpts end up being finished portfolio pieces? Honestly, like, I have a private portfolio because a lot of the stuff that I have done, it just exists in perpetual NDA. So depending on what I'm like, you know, if somebody needs something specific, I will send them that specifically. But a lot of the jobs that I've gotten have been through, I guess, unconventional means as a freelancer. So my portfolio is kind of like odd, and I wouldn't use it as a good example of anything. I just kind of like put things up on ArtStation and stuff. So, and I have to like reorganize the website that I have right now too. I could design a creature for James Cameron Avatar. That would be sick. How I painted it? Was it outside ZBrush? Yeah, oh, you mean like the poly paint. The poly paint was inside ZBrush. But the final illustration, yeah, it's in Photoshop. Redesign my website and make it like little ArtStation. Why would I do that? Why would I make it little ArtStation? Last Airbender avatar. Would be pretty cool. Alright, well, we didn't really get like super far with this one. If you have to sign into UE to visit my website, you'll explode. Oh my gosh. I was installing Alan Wake 2. Wait, I think I told you anyways. But I'm installing Alan Wake 2 because we're gonna be playing Alan Wake 2 on Friday on stream. And I had to like clear so much space off my computer just to get it installed because that game is 115 gigs. Like, holy frig, man. Because you always go like, dude, you have to UV and you would be slamming your toe with the door, but you needn't. It's needed normally, yeah. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna stop here because I do have a bit of a headache. I didn't get super far with this one. But if you want to see the, like, you know, the process and how that, you know, how something like this would be taken to a finished sketch, I have lots of VODs. Tons of VODs of other things as well. So apologies for not being able to lock in today. Had a bit of like a cloud, a little bit of like a fog over me all day. Which folder should you import matte caps? You mean like where in ZBrush in order to get like right here? So matte cap materials you want to see as like a startup, the matte caps show up? Is that what you're talking about? I'm pretty sure in order to get that up, there's in the ZBrush folders, there should be like a Z startup, and then you can put things into the startup folder within your directory. But then if you're talking about, I don't know, maybe you're talking about like the matte caps that would be used in conjunction with the shaders that I have, and like the skin matte cap pack, for example, in which case all you need to do is go grab the skin material that the matte is called matte cap driver, and then you can scroll down into the modifiers, press S1, and then you just click on this matte cap right here, and it will allow you to import a new one, and you can cycle through like different matte caps, like your own or the ones that I gave inside of the pack. So for example, let's do like a miscellaneous one like this. I'd like open that, right? Or a different kind of skin. And just like grab different ones depending on what your needs are. But the other way, you would have to drop the matte caps into Z Startup. Yeah, no worries, my pleasure. And if you guys want to like hang out more, feel free to follow me over on twitch.tv/a_cubed here. Sorry, had to sneeze. There you go. That's my Twitch, and here one more time for the links. Voila. My links are right here, acubed.art/links. And if you aren't already following the Maxon ZBrush channel wherever you're watching, do so. Definitely do so, because I am not the only one who streams here. There's a lot of other artists, lots of other workflows, and lots of other people to answer your questions and inspire you to do cooler and more different things every single time that you watch their streams. Okay? All right. Give them a follow, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'm going to be streaming on my channel tomorrow. I probably won't be as foggy as I am right now. I'm sorry that today was quite low energy, so hopefully tomorrow on stream it will be better. That'll be from 4 to 8 p.m. EST, and then on Friday we're playing Alan Wake. All right, okay guys, bye. Have a good night. See you. Bye.